Y'all, welcome back to Level Uploading, Fight Feelings Face Facts with yours truly, Shay. Okay. So, quick message. This is something that actually I saw one of my Facebook friends. Shout out to Trina Reynolds. She actually was in line with what I was going to talk about. So basically, it's a spiritual war going on right now, and if you are even remotely tapped into your spiritual nature, you feel it. You feel the shift. You feel the difference. Everything is changing. Everything is weird. Everything doesn't feel the same. I mean, myself personally, it's so weird because I've never been one that was like super, of course, as a kid, but like as a preteen, well, no, still preteen. Yeah, I was still into Christmas, but like teenage up, I really didn't care for Christmas. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, hey, it is what it is. I love the Lord. He loves me. I didn't not like it, but I just didn't really care one way or another. And so just really coming into grips with like how I've been these last probably about 7 to 10 years. I really, really do not care about Christmas, and just seeing so many people be obsessed with it and like have these gluttonous and stressful, like this is supposed to be a quote unquote happy day, but you're stressed out about it. People are depressed about it. People are sad about it. Like, I don't get the correlation between happy, merry day and people having depression and people being stressed and people neglecting their bills and their priorities for this tradition that has been passed down to us. We're supposed to be the generational curse breakers. Like, I saw someone post, I'm going to try to see if I can find the post. If I can, I will post it. But they actually posted, like, me watching my kids open their presents, even though I know my brakes are squeaking or grinding. No, not squeaking, because squeaking is like, okay, it's a little something, maybe some dust, maybe it might be time to address it, but no, grinding. Now listen, I'm no car expert, but I have ran some brakes into the rotor, okay? I definitely have done that. So I know that if your brakes are grinding, 9 times out of 10, you're getting to a point of needing more than just some brake pads. You know what I mean? Like, you're taking it to the next level. And for you to neglect the vehicle that gets you to and from, not only you, but your family, the kids who you're looking at, watching open presents, to neglect that in order to get them some gifts that they're going to play with for 3 days tops and be tired of. Speaking from a former child, I used to obsess over these things, and I would get them, and it would be like, okay. And me being the grateful child I am, like, I'll play with them for a little bit just because it's like, okay, my mama wanted to see me play with this because I begged her for months and months and months. So I'm going to go ahead and do my daughterly duty and play with this. But meanwhile, in my head, I'm like, this is not what I thought it was. It was way more hyped on TV. This is boring. Or, whatever. But neither here nor there. Just watching people continue to perpetuate this because it's their tradition, because it's what they used to do as a kid, and because it's what their parents used to do. It's like, how are we going to be breaking generational curses if we're literally perpetuating the same bad habits and the same priority setting and the same literal traditions that have kept us in binds? Now, don't get me wrong. If you celebrate Christmas, by all means, do you. Not my thing. I'm not really a holiday person at all because, well, beyond the pagan and all that stuff that everyone talks about, I just don't care about that type of stuff. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't. I feel like the people who love me, I can see them year round. The people who want to talk to me, I can talk to them year round. The people who want to send me presents and I want to get presents for, I can give them random things year round. I don't need a special day on the calendar to tell me. The only thing that I actually like about holidays as a full-time working woman is PTO. Free PTO. That's it. These days off have been amazing. Loving it. Looking forward to some more. December is definitely, November, December are top tier, but definitely December. But yeah, I look at us and I'm like, are we gonna break through these traditional, we're trying to break generational curses while still maintaining our childhood and giving our children the things that we had or more than what we had, but still break the curses. I don't get it. I know I don't have kids, so maybe that's my bias. I'll accept that. But personally, as a former child, I would have rather us form our own traditions, our own reasonable expectations for the day. Like, I can remember being a entitled child who was like, I asked for this and where is it? Because of the standards and the way that my parents were, especially when they were together. Like, the Christmases were ridiculous. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just being completely honest. Like, my family, thank you, Lord, I have been blessed to be, raised in a very good family. But looking back on it now, I'm like, what in the gluttony? Like, there was not even room for all the stuff that I got every year. And then when my sister came, it was double the trouble. And like, it wasn't like, okay, now we have two, so now we're gonna have to split up this. Like, no, it was not like that. And I promise you, I'm not trying to brag or anything like that, guys. I'm definitely not. I know people are out here struggling and have barely anything for Christmas and have, struggle holidays. I promise you, I'm not trying to brag. I'm having a reflective moment of like how privileged, entitled, and spoiled I really was in that way, and how I took everything for granted. And then when I was old enough to kind of really realize and see my parents struggling to get these things for me, and I'm barely even caring about them, and after a couple weeks, I just was like, this is a freaking hoax. Like, this is a hoax. And it's just scary to watch this continue with people who know better now, and they're still doing it. Because we cling to what we're used to. We're clinging to what we felt or what we wish we felt as kids, instead of us actually pardon me, instead of us actually developing some new stuff for our kids. We're just trying to make up and projecting from what we're missing or what we have. It's all selfish. It's all based on you. Like, a lot of people are trying to give the kids more than what they had. A lot of people are trying to give their kids what they had or better. But it's all self-centered because it's not based off the child. It's not saying, I want to give my child this because this is what they deserve, what they, And of course, this is generalization. I'm not saying all of y'all because I know nuance is lost on a lot of people sometimes. Not everyone. I'm just saying, like, in general, it's a lot of people who are just doing things because they want to either meet the standard of what they had or overdo the standard that they did have. They wish they had. They want to meet the standard that they did have or go beyond what they didn't have. And I don't know. I just think it's setting some very poor, it's perpetuating and keeping the curse going, because honestly, kids are learning that sacrifice your bills, sacrifice essential repairs. As long as Christmas, this one day, not even a whole day, opening Christmas presents, I don't care how many you had. And like I said, I had a lot for a long time. I had 2 houses at one point. Like, as far as when my mom and my dad, split up, I had Christmas in multiple places, sometimes more than 2. If I was going to my mom's house, well, obviously I lived with my mom. If I was going to my dad's house, or if I was going to my grandmother's house, I was going different places. I don't care how many gifts you have. That's no more than a 10-minute process, especially if you are a beast like me. Baby, we ripping through them papers, them boxes, all of that. And so people spend all this time stressing about getting stuff wrapped. Like, why are you stressed about that? Like, it's going to take them 2 seconds. You could have threw some wrapping paper on it and threw a ball on it and a rubber band, and it don't matter. They're going to rip through it anyway. People just, yeah, I don't get it. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer in the holiday season. If y'all love it, I love it. But I just want us to make better decisions and teach our kids to make better decisions, because they're our future. And if we keep on doing the same thing that our parents did while they're doing the same thing that their parents did, how can we break generational curses? How can we make a new standard? How can we change the dynamic? I'm so proud of the things that I do see. Like, I do see my generation making changes with their communication to their children, the way that they conduct themselves as far as, like, being an open and safe space for them. So I do love that. But there's definitely room for improvement. And I know people don't want to hear that, especially not from a person who doesn't have kids. But as I said, I'm a former kid. I used to be a kid. And I remember how I felt. The good and the bad, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I just hope that we are actually striving to be better, and not just to mimic and regurgitate the traditions of our past. I think family traditions are amazing, but we also have to address and realize that there is a place and a time for us to reevaluate and move on from some of them. There's a time and place for us to reevaluate and move on from some of these traditions. Just food for thought. Don't shoot with the messenger. This is just something that was on my mind. I hope you guys found it at least a little bit entertaining. As we're leveling up, we want our children to level up. And as we learn and grow and do better, we want to pass that on to the next generation. And so, can't keep on doing the stuff our mommies and daddies were doing. Mommy and daddy was great. Thank you. You got us here. But if we can do better, let's make sure that we're not just using that same blueprint. We can use them as a stepping stone. We can use their blueprint as a nice foundation, but we need to be adding and subtracting from it to make it better. So we can beautify our future, so we can fortify our future, and so that we can have a strong and better next generation. Love you guys. Have a good one. Bye.